If you are making one of these 6 mistakes that I'm going to share with you in this video today, then you could be making it way harder for you to get ahead financially. Okay, so trust me, I've seen it over and over and over again. Brilliant, hardworking business owners wondering why they cannot break through when it comes to money. So stick around with me because I'm going to go through these 6 common mistakes that I see that you could probably solve if you did a couple of different things this month. But firstly, if you're new here to my channel, I'd love for you to hit the bell notification button. So if I make a new video, you get notified, and also hit the subscribe button, and make sure you comment or leave me a review. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Paula Dave. I haven't met you. I am a virtual CFO and a money coach. And so I'm talking a lot about money on my channel. So if that's something that you're interested in, then make sure that you tune in and subscribe to my channel. So let's get into these money mistakes. So the first one is ignoring the compounding interest around money. So both ways. So what I mean by this is if you are investing your money, then you are going to earn compound interest. So the longer that it's in the investment, the longer the time it has to compound. So by ignoring that and not investing, so a lot of people will leave investing till later. They just want to live for the now. They just want to look after the now. They're looking after the business for the now, and they're not thinking, you know what, I need to put some money away for investments for later. And by doing that, they're missing out on the compounding of the interest. But on the flip side, you could also be making a mistake with compound interest in that you might be borrowing a lot of money. And when you're borrowing a lot of money, then the compounding interest is working against you. And what I mean by that is that you'll have to pay back more than what you borrowed. And if you actually sat down and if you've got a mortgage, or you've had a mortgage, or you know someone with a mortgage, then you sit down and you calculate out how much you'll have to pay back. If you take out the maximum period of the loan, you'll be paying back so much more. It will absolutely shock you how much you're paying back, right? Most people won't even look at it. So ignoring compound interest in the way that it could benefit you and that it is working against you is going to hold you in a worse off position financially. So that's the first one. Okay, so definitely look into that. If you're looking for a calculator to calculate that up, I've got a few. Otherwise, if you're in Australia, you can jump onto MoneySmart. They have some as well, which is great. Secondly, buying expensive equipment, without really thinking beyond just the equipment. Okay, so what I mean by this is maybe you're purchasing a piece of equipment for the clinic, or you're purchasing a vehicle to travel in, and you're just thinking of the cost of the equipment or the cost of the vehicle at purchase. And you're not thinking into the future that it's going to need maintenance, it's going to need, maybe you might need to set it up, you might need someone to come out and help you do that, or you might, all the bits and pieces, you've got to think longer term, how much is it going to cost me to have this equipment or vehicle or whatever the purchase is? And can I afford it from that holistic point of view? Okay, by not considering these things, it's keeping you stuck because you're not thinking about the total cost of ownership. And what's happening, it might be eating into your cash flow week to week, because you're didn't realize I was going to have to do that maintenance. I didn't realize I was going to have to get someone out to help me set this new piece of equipment up because I don't know how to use it, or it needs resetting, or it needs maintenance, or whatever it needs, right? So make sure that you factor that into if you can afford to have that piece of equipment or vehicle or whatever it is, okay? Often, people don't do it with vehicles as well. They get a vehicle and they think, you know what, I can just pay this repayment, not thinking I'm going to need to do maintenance, I've got a rego, I've got all the things that go into looking after and having and owning a vehicle, right? Thirdly, using credit cards to stay ahead, or just stay afloat, or just keep the lights on in your business, okay? So credit cards are a real problem, because majority of people get a credit card. And even if you have the best intentions, majority of people end up with credit, like having to pay back interest on their credit cards. So if you're using a credit card just to stay ahead or just keep the lights on in the business or even in your personal life, this is a problem, right? And this is going to keep you stuck getting to the next week or the next month, having to do the same thing, having to rely on the credit card, having to just get by, right? And so the credit card, you don't want to use that as an emergency fund to keep things going in the business. You've got to sit down and look at the numbers and make sure that you're okay to run the business and look at what's going wrong that you need to use it, all right? So then you'll need a way to stop using that. And a really good way to stop using that is to either cut it up, or put it somewhere where you absolutely can't get to it very easily, and stop using it and start paying it off and start using what you have already in the bank account. Okay, so a good strategy to do that is to start to work towards having, you know, some extra funds there, so that if you do need to keep the lights on one month, because we do have, you know, dips and then peaks in business, that you're going to be okay. All right. So number 4, failing to plan for that tax bill. Now, we had a local cafe here, going back a few months now, put a big sign out, please help us, GoFundMe, put like a GoFundMe page, because they actually forgot to pay tax. It's actually a huge thriving cafe, all right? Forgot to pay tax. Tax is one of those things you've got to put money aside for. It's one of those things that it can't be unexpected, because it is always expected. Like we have to pay tax. So instead of failing to plan for it, plan for it. Like failing to plan for it's going to set you up for disaster. Making sure that you plan for it's going to set you up for success, which means making sure you've got a certain amount going aside, each time you're doing your allocations from your revenue to go to an account for your tax. So that's not you touching it. It's not your money. That's the government's money, and it's already portioned off. Okay. So the good thing to know too, is some people who come to me, they come and they've got they're putting aside a lot of money for tax. I think it's really worthwhile talking to your bookkeeper, talking to your accountant, talking to someone, especially in your local area, because you may be overseas and have different tax rates, to work out how much that percentage should be, because sometimes we're putting away too much as well, and that's not helpful to the business either. Okay. Number 5. This is a big one. This is one that I actually have seen a lot, and when I first started my journey, I experienced it too, but I also experienced it in my personal life too. So paying myself last. And I feel like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's any women out there listening to this, I feel like a lot of the time we're raised to be last. We're raised to put ourselves last. So the kids go first, the husband goes first, the business goes first, the everything else, the dog, the cat, just friends, family, you're last, right? It's kind of like we were raised like that in society. So when it comes to running our business, often we'll put ourselves last. But I've seen men do this as well, because they want so badly for the business to be okay, or for it to look okay on the outside, that they'll forego taking a wage, or they'll forego taking a good wage for longer periods of time to make sure that still looks okay. All right. So I've spoken to people who have had businesses for almost 20 years, and from the outside, the business looks great. They've got the gorgeous car, they've got the business in the right suburb, it's all happening, but behind the scenes, they're struggling to keep up, because what nobody knows is they're just trying to keep up in the background, and they don't have enough to pay themselves properly. Okay, so you didn't start this to be on Struggle Street. You probably started your business to actually make sure that you were earning more, and do something brilliant in the world, and share what you're passionate about as well. But it's also okay for you to profit, for you to get paid well. Okay, and that's about setting up the system and the structure around you to do that. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to an accountant who knows how to do that, or a CFO who knows how to do it, or someone like me. Okay. 6, coming to the point here now. not knowing your numbers, like actually just not really understanding them, not taking the time. And I get it. I mean, you're busy. You've already got like a full day of actually doing all the things in your business, plus family life, plus looking after yourself, plus you're busy, right? Busier than probably most people in your life. And then to put on top of that to really understand what's going on with your money. But what I'm going to say is this could be a huge mistake by just not knowing those numbers, right? And you can get it down to a fine art of having a really clear dashboard come up so you can see, okay, this is what's going on, and you can make some decisions from it. Otherwise, if you don't really know what's going on, or you're trying to fumble around, what happens is you're making decisions like all the time in your business, right? You know this, but it's all from the gut. It's from gut feel, or we had a good sales month, or, the clinic looked really busy. I think I've got to keep going. I think I've got to do this next. Rather than actually looking at the numbers and going, okay, well, once we've distributed all of these things, what does it really look like? Where should I be? What should I be doing next? Okay, so what I recommend you do in this space is like knowing your numbers, review your cash flow, review your money I would say each week. I like to give my clients a money date, and we call it a money date. You sit down, you have a little look. It could be 15 minutes long, it could be longer, right? But know what's going on, know and track what's going on. So if you follow those 6 things, like if you go back and you think, oh, wow, I'm making that mistake, I'm making number 3, or I'm making number 2, or oh my gosh, I've got these credit cards just keeping the lights on. Like if you just made a small tweak and changed that one thing, or changed 2 of these things, wow, I wonder what the month, after would bring. I wonder what 2 months after would bring. I wonder what your business would look like in, say, 3, 4, 5, 6 months if you just changed a few of these things. All right. So if you need some help with this, I am running a masterclass really soon on the 3 profit strategies to run, 3 really simple profit strategies to run. And if you want to join in that, please type below and I'll absolutely send you all the details. And if you're listening to this after the masterclass has been and you're just keen to learn a little bit more or get some help with some of these, out to me in the comments below, because I'm more than happy to send you some of my free resources as well.